Coming at you with a little bit of a surprising message, Virgo. I pulled a couple of animal cards, and the first that came out was actually the wolf. And usually, when the wolf card comes up, it represents things like community, working together, being of service. And while that may be a theme for some of you, the way this was actually coming through to me was a little bit different. And this kind of surprised me because I'm someone who really does believe in community, coming together, mutual aid, supporting one another. But when I saw the wolf, it really felt more like you need to be discerning with the people around you. You don't need to follow the pack right now, because I think there might be some pressure in your life where it feels like you need to be doing what the people around you are doing, but actually you're kind of meant to lead the way. You're meant to kind of show a different way of being or a different way of doing things. And I'm very, very curious how this is landing for you in the comment section down below, because I was honestly a little bit surprised by the direction this already went in. I'm very curious to see what the tarot is going to say. But I do also have the moth card that came out as well. And this kind of confirmed for me, like the moth drawn to the flame. I feel like for some of you, you may be part of groups or communities where there is a figure or some kind of force that people are being drawn to, but they're also being misled by. This is actually kind of giving me almost the archetype or kind of the personality of what is called a communal narcissist. Now, a lot of people are familiar with narcissists, people who have kind of an ego wound and often act in destructive ways. But the way that a communal narcissist presents is kind of interesting because often there is a level of virtue signaling with this person. It is someone who almost gets their narcissistic supply by looking good, by looking active and getting the praise from that. And I think as I explain this, if you've never heard this term, you probably can already start to think of some examples of people maybe that you know, or people online especially, that kind of fit this mold. But I'm feeling like there is someone who is not walking the talk. And maybe this is even asking you to kind of look at yourself. Are you really practicing what you preach or what you believe in? Are you more concerned about appearances than living kind of in accordance to what you truly believe? And I'm not saying this in any way that's meant to attack anybody. I'm simply presenting some information, some questions for you to ask yourself, which I think is always a good thing to do. Now, I am going to shuffle the tarot cards for you, Virgo. I hope we're not coming out too heavy here. Ultimately, these messages are meant to give guidance, reflection, advice. I don't say these messages to disempower you, but to actually kind of validate things you could be feeling. So if this doesn't feel like it's resonating or affirming you, then perhaps this is not your message. But even if it is challenging you, I do implore you to at least investigate why. So what are the messages that we have for Virgo at this time? And as I'm shuffling, I do just want to make a quick announcement. I am running a sale on my website. You can get 30% off all astrology chart readings for the month of January using the code in the stars. So if you do want a 2026 spread, a year ahead spread, or a year ahead reading rather, or even just want to take a deep dive into your natal chart, now is an excellent time to do that. You can find the link for my website in the description of this video, where you can also find all of my other services. And I do appreciate all the support through your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. If you feel called and have the means to do so, I do also take one-time or monthly donations on coffee, which is linked in the description as well. Otherwise, I really just appreciate any support you give this channel with your likes, shares, comments, subscribes. You can also hit the bell notification so you can stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. And I do apologize, Virgo, I am a little bit stuffy. I've kind of started off this new year with a touch of plague. You know, it's been going around. So I apologize, I haven't really been as active on YouTube as I would like to be, but I am trying to get back into the swing of things here. Wow. Okay, so now the cards are kind of coming out all at once. So maybe something is sort of coming to the surface that's kind of been happening for a while. Wow. Yeah, Virgo, you really need to believe in yourself here. The card from the past is the Hierophant in reverse. And this to me does feel like there is something about beliefs or traditions or values that are out of alignment or maybe false. And again, I think this is actually about an energy around you, Virgo. So being very discerning with who you are connecting with, who you are working with. Six of Swords in reverse is kind of interesting because I almost feel like some of you have been afraid to leave a situation or a person behind because at least verbally, they're saying the right things. You seem to be connected. You seem to be on the same wavelength, but you're not. At least that's what I'm getting. And I feel like right now, in the present, or very soon, there is something that's making this obvious with the Two of Cups in reverse, which really does kind of signify this discordance. There is something missing in a connection. Something is not connecting. Someone is not connecting. It just feels off. And I think that's actually something that's becoming clear. And it's really important, Virgo, that you are being objective. You look at things objectively. How are they functioning on the day-to-day? Not how do they feel, not how you want them to be or hope them to be. You have the Queen of Swords as your challenge, which is all about discernment. Cutting through the BS, getting to the heart of things. Getting to the truth. Now, some of you could be dealing with an air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, that potentially could be the sign of someone who is potentially kind of causing some of this drama, but it doesn't have to be. Regardless, Virgo, I really do feel like this is you needing to see things as they really are. And you might even need to take a stand with the Seven of Wands. And honestly, I feel like you have either a hot take or an unpopular opinion, and there is going to be someone who does not receive this very well. I would love to hear in the comments how this is kind of playing out or resonating for you, because this feels challenging. And I think that's kind of the wolf energy here, where it's like you're kind of needing to be true to something, and I don't think that there is someone who's going to agree or like what you have to say. Agree with, I'm sorry. I do see at the bottom of the deck, we have the Magician. This is actually one of your indicator cards as well. There's actually a lot of interpretations with the Magician. And at first, the thing that kind of came to mind here is that this is about your sense of personal empowerment, believing in yourself, believing in your voice, your truth, your perceptions, your heart, your authenticity, your integrity. That's the word. That is the word that feels so key today. You are being tested on your integrity, and someone is acting without integrity. What's also interesting is that sometimes the Magician represents a con man. Someone who is a little bit deceptive, a little bit of a trickster, an illusionist, if you will. And so I get kind of the double meaning here. This is about your magic, your power, and also seeing through performances, appearances, cutting through to the truth. And trusting that you see the truth. And again, Virgo, I do feel like this could ruffle some feathers. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to ruffle feathers. Don't be afraid to rock the boat with the Six of Swords in reverse. Because a false peace isn't justice. Seven of Cups, illusion, masks, deception, sometimes even self-deception, seeing things clearly, taking the mask off. These are all themes that are explored with the Seven of Cups here. Someone is not what they seem. And I think you know who this is, Virgo. And I think this is more of an affirmation to you. This person might have a following. This person might have some loyalists, so to speak. Interesting. Wow, the Hermit and the Moon. Don't be afraid to stand on your own, to stand in the unknown. Trust your intuition. Trust your discernment. The Hermit, again, is one of your cards, Virgo. So this really does feel like an enormous momentum or current towards empowerment, believing in yourself, going within, finding those answers, introspecting, and not being afraid of being alone. The Moon can also represent illusions, confusion, heightened emotions. And I almost feel like, Virgo, whatever it is that you say or do right now, I don't think there's a lot of people who are going to understand it. They just won't. And it's really easy, because we are a social species, which is actually a very beautiful quality that we have. I don't think that this is something wrong with us. But sometimes, because we have this innate desire to belong, to be connected, we sometimes put that at the cost of being true to ourselves, doubting ourselves when there is some sort of difference that we perceive, and maybe even hiding that, covering that up. Don't hide your light, even if it's not meant for everybody. Because I feel like, Virgo, in time, people are going to understand what it is that you are talking about, what it is that you are truly trying to say. They just don't see it right now. You're kind of ahead of the curve a little bit. And as a result of that, a lot of people just aren't going to understand. But by you saying something, you are planting a seed. By you doing something different, unexpected, you are doing something that is starting to cause a crack for people, or widening a crack of doubt, of uncertainty. And that is an important thing to do. And the Nine of Pentacles, finding security in one's own space or time. There's a lot here, Virgo, that is actually about you sort of just being in your own time or energy or space. This isn't about you withdrawing or retreating or running away either, though. I do think this is an important distinction. You do need to speak. You do need to address something, even if other people don't understand it. And that's okay. People will seek out the Hermit when they are ready. They will find you when they are ready for you. So a very interesting message, Virgo. I would love to hear, once again, in the comment section down below, how this is landing for you. Where are you standing out? What is the thing that is kind of causing you to make some waves here? I would really love to hear that, and maybe you can even support each other in the comment section down below, especially as this is kind of tied to standing up for injustice. I think that that's kind of a theme that was sort of coming up for me here too. And once again, you can find all of my links in the description of this video. Again, I'm running a sale on my website. You can find the details there. And I will see you all next time. I'm sending lots of love and blessings your way. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if this was helpful for you, especially if you've made it all the way to the end here. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.